All right, y'all, we're back live, and I am excited, definitely excited to be on again, checking everything out. We're here with a minute on money, and we're talking about something that usually isn't talked about a lot, but stock splits. Stock splits, and one of the major stock splits we're going to be talking about is Chipotle. Chipotle. Yes, we're talking about burritos. We're talking about Taco Tuesday. We're talking about all those things that are related to Chipotle and its stock pre-split and strategies on how to get a piece of this major stock split that's coming up. And I say that because, y'all, this is incredible what's happening with Chipotle. If you get a chance, definitely stick with us. Next Tuesday, we'll be going into some more detail as we get closer to the actual split date. But this is going to give you an overview of what popped up with Chipotle and this major, I would even say massive stock split. Okay. One of the main things that we need to look at with Chipotle is this announcement it made in late March. It was talking about a 50 for one stock split. And when you look at Chipotle at this time with a stock price of over $2,000, Chipotle was banging off of burritos and guacamole and stock stock price rising along with surviving the pandemic. It was increasing prices and transferring um, information that they were definitely going to pass on their expenses to the consumer, and the consumer was continuing to buy up Chipotle, and the investor was continuing to buy up Chipotle. So Chipotle stock has been on a rise. It's been on a rise for the last couple of years. And one of the things that really is interesting about this particular split is you will get 49 additional shares for every share of Chipotle that you have. So if you have, let's say you have $6,000 in Chipotle, you have two shares of Chipotle. That means you're going to get 49 extra shares for each additional share of Chipotle that you have. That's the 50 to 1 split. So you won't end up with 51 shares. You'll end up with 50 shares based upon having one share. So that one share will convert with 49 additional shares. Hopefully that makes sense to you and you don't get thrown off and say, where's my extra share? But to go along with that, it's massive and it's happening later on this month in June, but there's still time to act now. As we go through next week, I'm going to go through the number of trading days remaining and the number of days that you have to act in order to implement it. But I take the approach of look at your trading days that you have from now until the record date, the date that you have to be on file to have that stock in your account, and then work your way back to see, okay, what if I put $50 in a day? If you're in the gig economy, like I am, that means, okay, maybe I need to drive Uber Eats a couple more nights a week in order to get that additional money to put into that account. So it's a 50 to 1 split. Why is that major? Think about it. NVIDIA, major chip maker, just announced a 10 for 1 split, and people are going crazy. And that stock is at $1,000. So here it is, a stock at $3,000 that is going for a 50 to 1 split. Big news, big news. And here's my opinion on it. And I shared this on X, formerly known as Twitter, back in May. And I said, man, this is an unbelievable rise of boring burritos and a blend of spices that don't match your local San Diego taco shop. And I have to say, as a San Diegan, I don't really go to Chipotle myself to buy it because all the number of taco shops that we have in our area. But my question is this what the biz world is buying? Because people seem to be buying what they're selling. And look at this 1 year rise just in Chipotle at that time. 1 year rise in Chipotle Mexican Grill for 1 year, as you can see it here, takes it all the way up to $3,245. an increase of 57% in 1 year, an increase of over $1,000 in 1 year, almost $1,200 in 1 year. That was remarkable. And when you think about it, that's a massive increase to look at when we're talking about simply this is Chipotle Mexican Grill. They don't do anything beyond an extensive menu on that. They focus on very specific blends and combinations, and it's very basic. But apparently, it sells well. And I know from driving and delivering Uber Eats, I get a lot of Chipotle orders. And when I go, I rarely see Chipotle where it's dead and desolate, like a lot of other places in the restaurant and service industry, where you can see Uber Eats and some other things that are like the only thing keeping them still running. Chipotle has foot traffic as well as traffic via orders. And I see that as a major thing that will help with this stock split and them to continue to grow beyond the stock split. But I also see Chipotle's not locked in like Starbucks, where it's dependent upon expansion into China and other regions that are very, global economic dependent, where Chipotle is looking at just expanding into other areas where they have not had a foothold. And that makes a difference because when we talk about it, this is one of those stocks that's in an industry that is what we would say pretty much saturated, but it has a dominant presence within this industry. If we can be honest, it has a dominant presence within this industry. And I think part of that dominant presence is the CEO is up front, management is up front. Hey, increase in pricing and costs, we pass that on to the consumer, and the consumer can appreciate that in an age like this. And I think people have a taste for what they're putting out. And so, to me, they may seem like boring burritos, but those boring burritos are banging on the stock market. Look at that. Almost $1,200 of an increase in 1 year. Now's the time to jump in if you're going to jump in. And I see it as a perfect time to get in on the split and get those additional shares. This is the current price. Right? With Chipotle, but see what it's done over 6 months. Look at this action right here. Look at this action right here where it's going, and then it dips right down, right? It was riding over 3,000 in the 3,200, almost 3,300 area, and then it's dipped down, and it's only at 3,000 right now. What should we do with this? What type of movement should we do with this? For me, I'm looking at this stock split as an opportunity to get into a big time mover, right? Get those additional shares, hold on to a majority of those additional shares after the split, but then also sell off some shares periodically in a post-split strategy to buy other assets that I will be more inclined to have in my position. This would not be my major position right now. This would not be my only position right now. If I wouldn't go GameStop on this, right? But what I am saying is get in, get a taste of it, get as much as you can. For those that do fractional shares, I'll cover this. And what it means for those that do fractional shares, I'll cover this. What that means on another Taco Tuesday. But for now, you've got to look at this and see, hey, man, if this is going 50 to 1, where am I in this activity? Where am I in this split? Where am I in this opportunity? Because part of the economics of this whole setup is, are you ready and prepared for opportunity? And if you're not, can you have a plan that adjusts based upon announcements such as this? Hey, this has been a Minute on Money. We'll be back next Tuesday with a special on Chipotle as a follow-up for these pre-split stock strategies. Definitely tune in because I'll be diving into fractional shares as well as a pre-split stock strategy that will get you trading multiple times and get you right where you need to be in the money. Hey, have a great day. God bless. Peace.